Widdz here, and in today's video I have a completely new build for you guys, and this one, it just melts and shreds with rate of fire you never seen before on an AR. So if you did watch my video yesterday, I did cover the completely new FAMAS
destroy, dude.
And that's what we're gonna build around. I will go through different PvE builds, actually a PvP build that just shreds in PvP, and on top of that go through the full builds with some gameplay ending the video. So yeah, the new FAMAS that you do get from the Brooklyn DLC is called Huntsman. Quickly, how you get it is to kill 8 of the secret hunters located in Brooklyn, and then you will get 8 ash keys, and then you can open the box and you will get this one, similar to how you get shield splinter that you might be familiar with. How do you kill the hunters? Well, there is plenty of information on Reddit, Discord, and also, as I said in yesterday's video, Nothing But Skill, I now have a video about that. I will make a video eventually on that, but I figure I prioritize other videos before. Anyway, the gun comes with the Perfect Frenzy, which is a LMG talent. So here they are breaking the game, putting an LMG talent on the AR, making this FAMAS extremely unique, and yeah, probably the most unique high-end weapon in the game because of it. So this one is perfect, which is a little bit better than normal frenzy. Normal frenzy, it has for every 10 bullets. This one has for every 8 bullets. In case you don't know how frenzy works, so for every 8 bullets in the magazine, you gain 3% rate of fire and 3% weapon damage for 9 seconds when reloading from empty. Which is worth to note. You cannot use this by swapping or like auto refilling. You have to actually reload the gun. So if we take a look here, we reload and then we get the rate of fire. Then you can reload as well and you just keep the buff for 9 seconds. I guess something you can do, you shoot the gun right, you swap to another gun, and maybe here you have, I don't know, another AR, and then you see like, okay, I want the burst damage, you swap to the FAMAS, it reloads right, and bam, you have frenzy ready. If you are maining the gun though, especially PvP, you might just want to run with 1 round in the mag. You shoot it, reload, and bam, you got frenzy procced. I have tested a few different builds when it comes to this, but to me, Umbra just makes a lot of sense. The biggest issue with the FAMAS is the reload speed, especially PvE. So Umbra gives you 15 critical hit chance, which of course is really beneficial. 3-piece 30% reload speed, which obviously is extremely beneficial for this slow reload speed the FAMAS have. And then the 4-piece, in short, will give you rate of fire and critical hit damage. So it gives everything we want, even faster rate of fire and crit. And if you never played Umbra before, just quickly how it works. You sit in cover, you charge up the buff right there, which gives us the RPM and crit. If you shoot in cover, you don't get the rate of fire. So you have to go out of cover to actually get the rate of fire boost. When you're standing or moving around, you will charge up the other one, which when you go into cover, you will heal up the armor, as you can see right there. So the set itself giving you both damage and survivability. If you time this correctly with the shield, it's really strong for survivability. You sit in cover, get the damage, take out the shield, shoot. Maybe the shield gets broken, maybe you take a bit damage, bam, you go in cover, shoot a bit. Yes, the damage is lower, but you are healing up the armor and also charging up Umbra. So pretty nice set for survivability. So that's kind of the base, 4-piece Umbra. Then you can do quite some different stuff. Firstly, we're gonna check out the PvE build. So this is what I ran recently with Ninja Bike, which I personally am a big fan of. I do know a lot of people are not the biggest fan of Ninja Bike, but I think it makes pretty good sense for this build. So if you don't know what Ninja Bike does, basically it acts like +1 for gear set and brand set, As you can see, we have a 3-piece Umbra, but Ninja Bike will act like we have another piece of it. And same with brand sets as well. So it's just adding +1 on the brand sets and gear sets that you have equipped. So yeah, this build Ninja Bike with 4-piece Umbra in total. And we also have Fenris, which usually I do not like to use Fenris when it comes to Ninja Bike. But since the FAMAS is lacking when it comes to reload speed, it just makes so much sense, right? It's an AR, so we get AR damage. We also get the reload speed. So especially when it comes to PvE, the biggest issue with the gun is that you spend too much time reloading. So actually be able to get a little additional of reload speed from Fenris, and then on top of it, reload speed from Umbra, it just makes you spend less time reloading. And as we're gonna get to later, we're also using Gunner for a faster third reload, but we'll get to that later. Then lastly, on this one, we are using the Walker and Harris piece for weapon damage and damage to armor, just giving us more damage. The build revolves around crit, so you want to try to reach a crit chance of 60%. If you are using the modifiers, you can go up to like 65 or 64 by default, depending on how many cores you have, right? And when you, for example, use security link, it will max your crit chance up higher as well. But just make sure you have 60 crit chance and drop the rest into critical hit damage. So yeah, this is the Ninja Bike version of the build. If you really want to, and if you have it, you can of course equip thermal. But with Ninja Bike, it's not the biggest value because we personally don't care about the hazard protection, right? But you could always put in thermal. So that is the first Ninja Bike build, which is the one that I personally prefer. However though, you can do a lot of different stuff when it comes to this, as long as you keep the base of 4-piece Umbra. For example, you can go a Vigilance backpack if you feel like you can keep that up, which might be hard. So you could swap and use like a Memento backpack. I am playing 6 cores. You don't have to play 6 cores. You can just go a few more blues if that fits your playstyle, because it will benefit you pretty good when it comes to sitting and covering, healing up with Umbra. But something you could do like Memento backpack. If you have thermal, you could equip that here as well, and this would be pretty solid, especially if you have a blue or 2 extra on top of this. I mean, there's just a lot of options. You can use a Fenris brand set and with Coyote's mask, Fenris Vigi, and all that. But if we take a look at actual PvP, where I do think this actually shines, because the FAMAS with Perfect Frenzy have insane burst fire. I mean, the FAMAS itself is known for the burst fire, and then you add something like Perfect Frenzy into PvP and you will just burst. So when I tested this quick yesterday, this was how I ran it. 6 red, which is definitely not ideal, but I just wanted to go in and just see how crazy the burst could be. So of course add some blues to this, 2 blues, maybe 4 blues, and just work around that. So I used Walker and Harris. Ideally I would want to use Fenris, but I did not have a Fenris Vigilance backpack, so I just tested with Walker. Actually, it was not Walker, it was Seska. My bad right there. So this is how I ran it. So the key point with this build, if you would play it like 6 red with Vigi, obviously you have to see them first. If you can just catch them off guard, you will just destroy them super quick. And the same thing applies here as well when it comes to crit, like get that 60% crit chance and all that. Focus on the critical hit damage. In terms of skills, when it comes to PvE, Reviver Hive and the Crusader Shield, nothing new there. In PvP though, especially if you do Dark Zone, I would do Decoy and then Pulse. If you're playing Conflict, I'll probably do Decoy and Pulse as well. Yeah, Pulse have a really high cooldown though, but it's still really nice when you have it. You can make some really big plays happen. In terms of specialization, when it comes to PvE, we go Gunner. In my opinion, the best PvE specialization. But it's actually extremely beneficial when it comes to this build. Since reload is an issue, we have coupler, which makes every third reload 50% faster, so that's really nice. On top of that, we also have the 10% armor on kill, amazing for PvE. We also do have barrage, which gives rate of fire increasement by 5% on kill, so increasing that rate of fire even further. Then of course, make sure that you get assault rifle damage. But yeah, I think that covers everything about this build. It's a super fun build with super high rate of fire. Might not be the best build in the game, but we are at a point in Division 2 where the power creep is so strong. So I think it's important to have some variation and try out different builds and have some fun as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as you probably are aware, I am currently live at twitch.tv/widdz with a subathon, and there's also Twitch drops, so feel free to tune in there and
get fucking destroyed, dude. Get destroyed, holy shit. The fact that I survived that, dude. I thought I killed the third guy, but I didn't. And then he was kind of choked it.